Everybody, hope you had a good Christmas yesterday. It will have been yesterday because, yeah, time of upload a video. And, hopefully you guys got the all the, gaming related goodies you were looking forward to. If not, well, I'm sure you'll get them eventually. But anyways, I've just gotten back into, as I said in my last week's video, one of last week's video, I just gotten back into Warhammer 40K, get back to the painting and modeling and everything. And even when I wasn't, actively doing it, I still, enjoyed the universe and everything. Models were all still there, still proud of the work that I had done. Just as I said, needed a little break from just painting stock power armor. So that's why this current army I'm working on, there will not be a single model that is just built straight from everything that's on the sprues, and that's it. Even if it's just like a simple head swap or something, all of them are going to be individualized and everything because that's the part of the hobby that I'm really enjoying. So, anyways, the past couple years since I've gotten into it, I keep talking about Space Marines and Chaos Space Marines in particular because that's the army that I build and play. And so, my folks went up and got me a 40K kit for Christmas, and well, it's Space Marines, yeah, but it's not quite Chaos Space Marines, not officially. They don't have, unfortunately, there's no like Chaos Space Marine scouts in the actual codex, which is kind of, which I can kind of understand because they're trying to make Chaos Space Marines their own thing. That's kind of been that move in that direction lately. But what if you're decided to build up a chapter that a warband or whatever that's like a chapter or a company or whatever of Space Marines that had recently up and left the Imperium. I mean, I don't exactly see, like the Space Marine scouts, the scouts in those chapters going, no, you guys go ahead and do your thing. We're just going to stay loyal to, to the Emperor and all that. Some of them probably did, but I can imagine quite a few of them left with the rest of the chapter or the rest of the company or whatever the case may be. So it makes sense to me to have Chaos Space Marine scouts, but video is not intended to be a rant on why there aren't scouts in the Chaos Space Marines Codex itself. No, this is actually just more about what do you do if you get some kind of kit for whatever game you happen to be building and playing that isn't exactly in your army, whatever the case may be. Well, I can tell you what not to do. The first thing you should not do is raise a colossal fit how they got something from the wrong army, quote unquote. That's just terrible form. I mean, you're basically, here you are, you're getting free plastic. Somebody has actually made the effort to go out and get these models for you. So it's just be a terrible move to, blow up at them if it's not, if it's not your army, it's not in your army book or codex or whatever. Because first of all, with with Warhammer 40K and Age of Sigmar, open play is a thing. And bust this out here. Really cool thing that I've seen in pretty much every kit that I've picked up from Games Workshop, or has been picked up for me, is along with the assembly instructions. Within it, they have data sheet or the war scroll, whatever it happens to fit for that particular game, for that unit. So there you are. You have your stat lines right there, all ready to go. You've also got your unit makeup, all your most commonly used weapons, all the stats for those right there, options and all that other stuff. And might I add, you have these in several different languages. Oh, you have to scoot back to the back of the book, this one booklet for a little bit to get to the English one. But they've got it all in like French and German and Spanish, and like the back page is Italian. So hey, not only do you have those stats, but you have them in several different languages, so you are covered for how to play these things on the tabletop. And might I also remind you that, at least for 40K, Kill Team is a thing. And I believe, if you're in my particular situation, the Space Marine Scouts are actually listed in the stat lists and everything for the Space Marines in the Kill Team book. You got all the stats right there for everything that's like a legal option in the game. So hey, voila, you've got the start of a different, Kill Team of a different faction if you want. Or what I'm actually planning on doing is making these guys, getting them all converted and everything so they're chaosy. And then, simple keyword swap, and voila, I have those Chaos Space Marine Scouts. Okay, so it's like the faction keywords, swap them out for what actually works. So instead of Imperium Adeptus Astartes and Braces Chapter, my guys would read as Chaos Heretic Astartes, Braces Legion, and then other Braces Mark of Chaos. And then of course you swap out some of the the army particular rules for the ones that actually work for you. So, and they shall know no fear. Nope. I guess they shall know fear. I guess you have to make some kind of trade-off when you quit worshipping the golden vegetable and whatnot. So instead of "and they shall know no fear," Death of the False Emperor. Voila! Chaos Space Marine Scouts. And if I was to do if my opponent would be, if your opponent agrees to it, you can even include them in a match, in a match play type of situation where you're not necessarily going with the actual points, because again, those point values are going to be in a completely separate codex. I mean, if you want to spend the $50 or so to get that that other army's codex, so you have those point values on hand, go for it. You won't hear anybody at Games Workshop complaining, or whoever makes the game. But I've got their power point value. So if we decide to do points, but like the power point, instead of like individually working out all the this number of points per model, this this weapon is this number of points, and blah 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 blah. It's a little more of a fast and loose kind of match play type of thing. So that option's there. And failing that, you could always use the bits for some other project. I mean, this is a hobby that encourages a lot of creativity. So freaking use it. Think a bit outside the box that they say is officially sanctioned or whatever. Maybe you play Space Marines and you got a pack of Tyranids. I don't know them all right off the top of my head. I think the Hormagaunts are like the little Zergling looking dudes. Well, I mean, you could use the bits for some other project. Maybe you've got some dudes that are mutating. Maybe you're particular chapter of Space Marines is experimenting with, harnessing the power of Tyranid hive minds to so you can actually use Tyranids in conjunction with your Space Marines. Granted, you probably want to keep that on the DL, like hardcore DL, in case the Ordos, or whoever, anybody in the Inquisition catches wind of it, because that would not go well for you. But that could be a thing. And also, since this is mainly Warhammer focused, because that's, this is about a Warhammer kit that I got, and again, I'm getting it back into Warhammer. There's also, there's the fact that there's a new Warhammer 40k RPG being developed. I think the core rulebook should be in print format sometime this coming year. Again, that ties in with the usual content about role-playing games. You never know. You may actually need some Tyranid minis for that particular scenario you came up with for your group, if you're the guy running the game. You don't know. They might even come up with expansions for you to play the different Xenos races, so you may even wind up playing a Tyranid. I'm not sure that would work out, because they're supposed to be like hive-minded, but I'll let them work that out. So kind of the gist of this whole thing is, even if the plastic you get for Christmas or your birthday or whatever, or anniversary presents, what have you, doesn't fit with your usual army, it's free plastic. Enjoy. However that works out for you. Well, heck, I've even heard, some of the guys at the shop that I usually get my models from, they say that every now and then they find themselves having to paint something that's outside their usual army for for variety's sake, kind of a mental health thing. All that usually they said it's dangerous doing that sometimes, because you wind up painting up a whole nother army, getting a whole nother codex and what have you. This is 40k specific, but you get the idea. You just any more models is just an extra opportunity to flex your creativity and your hobbying muscles, maybe in ways that are different from what you're used to. Heck, War Machine, the stat cards come with the kit also, so you could legitimately field it, and Privateer Press has some fairly open-ended rules for converted models at their officially sanctioned and licensed events, because somebody had actually taken a bunch of models from one army and used all the bits for building stuff for a completely different army that normally has a completely different look and feel, and they were just like, that is so cool. We're changing our tournament rules for conversion. So again, the whole gist of this thing is, free models are free models. Instead of burning bridges and causing drama with the person who gave the gift, find other ways to make the most of it. That's all I got for you today. Ciao.